In this video, I'm going to teach you pretty much everything you need to know about car insurance. For example, what coverage types actually mean, how much you really need, how your rate gets calculated, and also the most important part, the sneaky way that insurance companies quietly overcharge people who've been loyal customers for years. The craziest fact right now is that the average driver is paying over $2,000 a year for car insurance, but you could easily save $700 to $1,000 or more just by switching to a different car insurance right now. I know it's a crazy concept, but it is true, and I found this out the hard way myself. And just a little bit about me, my name is Charlie. If you haven't seen my channel before, I love everything about personal finance and I also enjoy collecting cars myself. So this is a topic that is super relevant. But yeah, no one talks about this stuff. So if you are trying to get insurance for the first time or you've been driving for 20 plus years, you're gonna understand car insurance better than 95% of people if you watch this video. So let's get started. First, let's talk about how car insurance actually works, as well as what all those coverage terms actually mean. Okay, so here it is broken down in like 30 seconds. So everyone pays money into a pool, and then the unlucky people draw from the pool, and then the insurance company keeps that difference. So they are betting that you won't crash, and you're paying to be protected if you do. Now, the reason why it's legally required isn't about protecting your car per se. It's more about protecting the person that you might hit. So let's talk about these 6 coverage types, and this is super confusing. It took me quite a while to actually understand this, but I'll try to make it as easy to understand as possible. Okay, so first is going to be liability. So this pays for their car and their injuries when the accident is your fault. Liability insurance is required, I think, in every single state, or at least almost all of them. But this liability part doesn't cover your own car. It only covers their car and their injuries. The next term is going to be collision. So this pays for your car in a crash, no matter whose fault it is. It includes if you hit a deer, if there's hail or other like natural disasters that damage or total your car, because since those are not a crash, your comprehensive insurance is going to pay for it. Next is uninsured or underinsured motorist. So this is the part of insurance that protects you from people driving with no insurance. And yes, insurance is required, but still about 1 in 7 drivers on the road actually are not insured. And so if you get hit by someone that doesn't have insurance, sometimes you might be out of luck if you don't have this uninsured policy. Next is going to be medical or PIP. So this covers injuries for you and your own passengers, and it's also required in some states. And then full coverage, it's not an actual product. It's just the nickname for all these combined, right? So liability, collision, and comprehensive together. So whenever someone's asking, do you have full coverage? That means, do you have liability? Do you have collision? And do you have comprehensive? One way to think about it is liability is for them, and then collision is for you. Okay, so now that you guys know what everything means, how much of it do you actually need? Okay, you've probably seen insurance numbers stated something like 50/100/50 or something like that, or 100/300/100. And let me explain what this actually means. So if we're looking at 50/150, this means that there is a $50,000 injury cap per person involved. The 100 means that there's a $100,000 injury cap per accident. And then the last 50 means that there's a $50,000 property damage cap. Now, I will say some states allow you to actually drive with lower caps than that. And these are called state minimums. And this can actually be a trap because they exist to make you drive legally, but they may not protect you fully in case of an accident. For example, some states might let you drive with $15,000 of property damage coverage, but the average new car costs like $40,000 to $50,000 right now. So if you total someone's car, then there's gonna be a difference, and that difference comes out of your pocket. Now, I'm not like a professional financial advisor or a professional car insurance broker, but the standard that most people go with, the general recommendation is 100, 300, 100. That's the type of liability that you want for most people. And you might be thinking, okay, that probably costs a lot more money than the 50/150 coverage, but the price jump is actually pretty minimal in most cases. Now, when should you actually carry collision and comprehensive insurance? This is usually most recommended if you have a newer or financed car. In fact, most lenders, if you are financing your car, are going to require this. But if you have a super cheap car, like a beater that's worth say $3,000 or so, then maybe you can skip it. Basically, the general rule of thumb is if the annual cost of the insurance is around 10% or more of the car's value per year, then it's probably not worth it. Okay, so now let's talk about what deductibles are. So a deductible is what you pay before insurance kicks in. So obviously a higher deductible means you pay a lower premium, and premium is just your payment for the insurance. Let me explain this a little bit more because I know it gets a little confusing, but let's say you have a deductible of $1,000 for your insurance. There's an accident occurs and there is, let's say, $2,000 of damage. Well, the deductible is $1,000, so you're going to owe at least $1,000, and then insurance is going to cover the rest. So let's say you have a $500 deductible, then you only need to pay $500 and insurance will cover 1.5K. So obviously the lower your deductible, the better for you, but the higher deductible, the worse for you, right? And so that's why there is an inverse correlation with the insurance premium. If you choose to have a higher deductible, that is a gamble on your part, but it does lower your monthly payment. Or if you want to have a low, let's say $0 or $500 deductible, then your premium is actually going to be a little bit higher. Now, for most people, I don't think you need a super low deductible or a $0 deductible. As long as you have some type of emergency fund, then in most cases, having a $1,000 deductible, but paying a lower premium is going to beat having a $250 deductible, but having a higher monthly premium. Okay, so here is where it gets really interesting. And let's talk about how they decide what you pay for car insurance. I know this is something that I was always curious about. How are they actually calculating my rate, as well as how much money are they actually making on me? And yeah, this is the part that insurance companies probably don't want you to think about, because the more you know about this, the better you are at actually shopping rates and getting a lower rate for yourself. Okay, let's start with the basics, what they use to actually calculate your rate. And this is a little bit boring, but essentially you have your driving record, right? Do you have any accidents? When were those accidents? They also look at your age. So this is very important. They look at your zip code where you live, your credit score in most states, the car you drive, the annual mileage, and even gaps in coverage. So if you have gaps in your coverage, like let's say 3 months where you weren't insured, this might actually increase your rate. Now, I will say some of these are fair, right? It makes a lot of sense, but also some of them feel a little bit random. For example, your credit score can actually matter more than your actual driving in some states, which is just crazy to think about. Now, what I want you guys to really understand is that there are so many different insurance companies out there, right? And every single one of these companies weighs all of these different factors differently, right? There's no like correct price for you. It is pretty subjective. That's why you get quotes from a bunch of different insurance companies. They're all going to be different. In fact, myself, when I shop for my own car insurance, the range of quotes I get is really big. And so that's why it's so important for you guys to actually shop around for insurance, because you can easily save like $1,000 or more per year. Like even studies show this, where they find $1,000 plus gaps between quotes for the same exact driver with the same exact car. And here's this concept that absolutely blew my mind. It's called the loyalty penalty. And so think about it. If you're a loyal customer for 10 years, you might think that that would get you the best rate, right? Unfortunately, it's not like that. It's actually the opposite. And insurance companies, they have algorithms. They do a lot of math. They know exactly who shops around and who doesn't. And they know that for the people that don't shop around, people that are just going to stay on that plan, since it takes effort to shop around and switch, well, they're going to actually increase those rates every single year. The rates are going to quietly creep up every single renewal. 1 year might be a few percent, 1 year might be 5+%. They're not really pricing your risk anymore. They're more just like pricing your laziness. So yeah, in the past, I've had policies that, just every year they get a little bit more expensive. And you hear about a friend who just got insured for X car for cheaper. And you're like, that's weird. Like, I'm older. I have a better driving record. Why is their insurance cheaper than mine? And then you think, okay, maybe I should actually check rates with some other companies and see how it compares. And you realize, okay, I've been paying more than I should have for the last few years. Let me actually switch and save a couple $1,000s per year. And this year alone, in 2026, rates are going up in about 35 different states, some up as high as 10%. I think a lot of you guys watching this video, that's going to apply to you. They're counting on you to think, okay, that's just a normal thing. I've been with this company for a long time and it's not gonna make sense to switch, which is the opposite. So that leaves me with the statement, probably the single highest like pay per minute ROI activity that you can do in personal finance right now is just comparing your insurance quotes. You can probably compare quotes in just a few minutes. Then you do the switch. It might take, I don't know, 30 minutes or so. And then you save $1,000 per year, right? That sounds really worth it to me. Now, if you guys actually want to compare quotes for your own auto insurance, I'll actually have a link down below. This is the exact link that I use to compare my own rates. And the cool thing is that you can actually just enter in your info one time, and it's going to compare your quotes for a bunch of different insurers and make sure that you actually list out your rates, and then you can literally just choose the cheapest one. So this is what it looks like, right? You're going to put your zip code, you're going to put how many cars you have on your policy, your age right here. Are you currently insured? Any at-fault accidents in the last 3 years? Do you own own your home? Have you or a family member served in the US military? No. And then you're gonna click submit. You're gonna have to give a bit more information to get a full quote. And your page might look a little bit different once you go through it. But yeah, you'll just click on view rates and then you'll answer some questions about your current insurance, about yourself, and you'll get your quotes. 76% of people who actually compare quotes will end up saving money. That is a fact. And that average savings is between $700 to $1,300 per year. That's on average. So again, I'll have that link down below if you do want to check it out. And also using that link is going to help support the channel. And it doesn't cost you guys anything. So I do want to say thank you guys so much in advance. But yeah, by using that tool, you are not committing to anything. You're just looking, right? In worst case, you find out that you already have a great rate and you don't need to switch. But best case, and for most of you guys, you're going to find out that you can save $1,000 per year. Okay, so now let's talk about some other ways that you can actually lower your auto insurance bill besides just switching. Like, please just try switching first. But if you don't want to switch or anything else, there are things you guys can do to actually lower your rate. First is by bundling your home or renter's insurance with your auto insurance. So usually this is going to save you between like 10 to 20%, which is really, really solid, right? Next is going to be by raising your deductible, right? So we covered this before, but this is something that a lot of people don't know about. And if you're okay paying a bit more for the deductible, you can take that risk and actually lower your monthly payment. Another thing I really recommend doing is ask for the discount. So there are tons of discounts that can apply. For example, good student. This is a very common one. Low mileage if you don't drive that much. If you have taken a defensive driving course, that might lower your payment. If you pay in full instead of monthly, there's also usually a discount for that. There's also usage-based programs out there. So you're gonna have an app that tracks your driving. And if you are a really safe driver that doesn't drive that much, then you could save money by doing that. Personally, I don't think that's worth it. I just don't really like being tracked. Another is if you're looking for a car to buy right now, you should actually check for insurance rates before you actually buy the car, because insurance can vary a ton based on the model of the car you get. And this is just based on a bunch of data that they have about what cars are stolen the most, what cars get in more accidents, stuff like that. And then what I do is I just reshop every single renewal. So every 6 to 12 months, just reshop it. Switching is actually super, super important. The only thing you really have to do is just print out a new proof of insurance. And yeah, it's super, super easy. Okay, now let's talk about some mistakes that can cost you a lot of money when it comes to car insurance. The first thing you don't want to do, and this has happened to me before too, is let your policy lapse. So basically let it expire. Even if you have a few days of being uninsured, this basically flags you as higher risk and can jack up your rates. So if you are switching, make sure that you overlap your policies by at least 1 day. Another thing that I don't like, and this is just my own personal risk tolerance, is just buying the state minimum. Yes, you'll save a little bit of money, but the jump from state minimum to a bit more comprehensive is not a lot. It could be like $30 to $50 per month. Next is going to be filing small claims, right? So if you hit someone and it's really small damage, you're probably not going to want to go through insurance, because let's say your insurance pays $600 for the claim, and then your insurance rate is just going to go up more than it paid out, and it's going to stay high for years. So what I like to do is I save claims for the bigger stuff, and the small stuff I'm just going to pay out of pocket if it's my fault. This actually happened a couple of years ago, but someone hit my car when I was driving on the highway. Completely their fault. Very, very small damage. You can't even really see it, but for some reason they went through their insurance and they cut me a check for like $600 or $700. And I know that person's insurance just went up a ton. So they should have literally just paid me that $600, $700, and that would have saved them a ton of money in the long term. And the last is you need to update your policy, right? So if you move, or if you start driving less, or if you begin working from home, you should update your policy and see if that changes your rate. And probably a lot of you guys fall into that category. I know that I was in that category too before, but now you are not, right? What you guys can do now is just compare your rate. The exact tool that I use will be down below in the description. Just click on that link. And yeah, most of you guys watching this will save money if you actually do it. I can confidently say that. And now hopefully you guys know more about the car insurance industry, how things work, how your policy is calculated. And yeah, if you guys got any value from this, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe, because I make a ton of videos about finance, entrepreneurship, everything to help you guys live a financially successful life. I really appreciate your time. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.